Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Superstars of Wrestling series for the 17th of September 19 and 94. As we continue our foray through that, I did not realize until rewatching this for the first time in over 25 years that the Bushwhackers were still here this late in 1994. For some reason, I thought they had left in 1993, and in some ways, I think it would have been better if they had. Bushwhackers against Well Done here with Harvey Wiffleman is probably one of the more campy and I don't know if I'd say awkward, but certainly campy, you know, matches as it relates to kind of moving forward into the future of um, just kind of the beginning of the end of the tag team division in some ways. Well Done and the Bushwhackers, certainly not your 80s tag teams by any stretch of the imagination, but they kind of kick things off. September Sweeps Week, a big time for that sort of thing. Also, a big highlight in this particular series of episodes, September through November, is the wonder that is the battle, or the I guess reestablishment of Bob Backlund as a major force and character in the promotion at the time. And again, kind of, as mentioned, the Bushwhackers, Well Done, Timothy Well, Stephen Dunn. Well Done, nothing more than a comedy tag team at this point, although they do have a good run with the Thrill Seekers in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, kind of getting both Lance Storm and Chris Jericho ready for bigger things. Um, Basic cutoff, Harvey Wiffleman kind of just doing a Memphis-style gimmick on national television. Not sure that that works well. Timothy Well cuts things off, and the Bushwhackers get choked out a bit. Use of the leg over the rope and really basic things. Nothing to write home about here. Brawl, and Luke does the majority of the selling, takes the big buckle in the corner, and ultimately manages to do everything he thinks he can do to keep things going his way. Double kick by the and modified bulldog by the Well Done tandem, and then they kind of send things out into a different level of corner, and ultimately, um, kind of getting things going there. Harvey Wippleman helps Well Done to cheat to win, and they get an advantage. Also, they do a recap on the Bam Bam Bigelow and Adam Bomb confrontation from last week. Continuing with the challenge, Adam Bomb basically says that the entire Bomb Squad, aka his fans, will be there to kind of support him through the process of making, I guess you'd say, larger decisions going forward. Then we go into Double J Jeff Jarrett, a local young lady ring announcing that just calls him Double J Jarrett, forgetting his first name, but obviously nervous in front of a national or worldwide, depending on your perception. Television audience, so that can easily be forgiven there. Jeff Jarrett and Phil Apollo. Jarrett punch kick, very basic Memphis style match. Still getting himself over, and Jeff Jarrett here is probably when it comes to national stuff one of my more favorite Jeff Jarrett characters over the years. If you haven't checked out his My World podcast, certainly worth doing. Also, they're plugging the Ain't I Great CD that Jarrett has out at the time, or at least the concept of a CD that I don't think was ever actually produced. Anyway, Jarrett with some arm ringers, basic stuff, go behinds, takedowns, and Jeff Jarrett wearing all purple and having some very annoyingly swanky country music along the way. Jarrett also manages to get a couple of, arm bars, basic stuff, and Jarrett eventually gets the figure four after a very short match. Highlights in Jarrett really not moved forward quite yet. The Heartbreak Hotel concept coming up here. Also, there is a hype video, I guess you'd say, for some celebrities against WWF superstars in a charity softball game. They seemed to do that around the summer of 1993, 94, maybe even starting in 92 with the WBF tug of war type stuff. They were really good about having charitable contributions, but they did, in fact, show them as a family organization at the time period. The Undertaker against Tony Devito. Tony Devito later becoming one of the Baldies. Undertaker at this time coming back off the SummerSlam thing. Undertaker also getting ready for a series for quite a while, actually. The kind of culmination of the series with Yokozuna having been defeated by him in the casket match at the Royal Rumble. Punch kick, basic stuff by the Taker, does the rope walk, arm drop, and then hits a choke slam, followed by a tombstone, and away we go. Paul Bearer and The Undertaker successful Taker back with purple gloves, and he was talking about being injured at this time. Also, there is a new generation ad with Razor Ramon basically doing a confessional with a priest. Just kind of funny there, and the priest is watching. Actually, the new generation thing is the following week. But anyway, a priest watching the WWF at the time, kind of funny. Jerry Lawler basically says he wants to get his hands on Duke the Dumpster Drosy. They set that up for the upcoming episode of Raw. Lawler still wrestling here every once in a while here in the 90s. We move to the next in the series of matches, Quang, a.k.a. Savio Vega. Vega not revealing his face until the summer of 1995 here. But anyway, at the time, Quang with Harvey Wiffleman defeating Scott Taylor, a.k.a. Scotty Too Hottie, and that is a pretty big deal. Harvey Wiffleman still alongside Quang, pretty big deal going forward into that match. Quang, of course, doing a martial arts gimmick, so lots of punches, kicks, spin kicks, and all of that. At the time, I remember being a kid and enjoying a good bit I guess you'd say the house show match loop with the 1-2-3 Kid and Quang. They had some good matches even on house shows for the time. Scott Taylor does get a couple of offensive maneuvers, most notably an attempted sunset flip and a couple drop kicks. Harvey Wiffleman in a purple suit on the outside looking ridiculous. Anyway, Quang sends him up and over with the spin kick, and Quang in pretty dominant nature. Earlier this week, they do the Heartbreak Hotel talk with Diesel and Shawn Michaels, the new tag team champions. Of course, they won the championships late August, I think the night before SummerSlam, something like that. So, only been champions for a couple of weeks, and needless to say, the Heartbreak Hotel is all about bragging about themselves, at least for the first good bit of it. And Ted DiBiase is brought out, and Tatanka basically says that he was on the take from the $1 Million Man. He loves money. He loves and knows the value of $1, including, but not limited to, knowing the value of $1 million, basically implying that there was $1 million payoff for Tatanka to turn on Lex Luger at SummerSlam, or soon there before. Anyway, we move to the next in the series of matches. Bob Sparkplug Holly, a.k.a. Hardcore Holly, doing a race car driver gimmick, which we've talked about on this particular channel before, around this time frame, in an enhancement match. Bob Holly at the time, still a reasonably good athlete, not having his body set down. Arm bars, arm drags, arm locks, and all of that. Perennial enhancement talent, Iron Mike Sharp is his opponent for the day, so you're not going to get, a great deal of negativity there. Sharp does get a couple of punches in, does get some basic stuff. Sharp rolls to the outside. They battle over a full Nelson, and Bob Holly, who I think at the time might be just on a TV deal or some basic house show loops, getting the victory, including a crossbody from the top rope the crossbody from the top rope not being used as a major finish, and they were trying to get kind of a more high-flying, newish feel to things at the time, and ultimately that doesn't go exactly the way they planned, but still a pretty big deal. Highlight video package and the return of now the heel Bob Backlund, Mr. Backlund, as it were. A pretty big deal here, and he is bragging as though he's going to be world champion again. Of course, his heel turn back in July. Being accentuated here, Bob Backlund defeating Tony Roy with the submission in relatively quick order, only a couple of minutes, to the crossface chicken wing here at this juncture. Then we move, kind of Backlund hits a couple of arm ringers, arm bars, does a lot of walk and talk, does some amateur style takedowns, and is very aggressive with kind of go behinds and some body slams before locking in the crazy eyes and the chicken wing, leading to a Bob Backlund victory. And they're hyping the Undertaker being on Raw. They show highlights of Raw and Undertaker beating Quang, and there we go. Hype for next week, and ultimately we'll be back with more right after this.